Looks like you're free today.
Yeah, just made some time to be able to catch up for this. So we often keep chit-chatting about whatever happened, how have we grown, how has the Waymo journey been for so long we have been at Waymo. So
Right.
let's do it on camera today.
Sure, I'll start.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So, how did it start for you at Waymo?
For me, it started around May 2017, I think.
Mhm.
Came to the office and yeah, I was pretty surprised, like the kind of setup I saw here for the first time, like
Right.
open long benches, a long desk in between and chairs both sides, no separations in between, and I'm like, wow, this is a good setup to work. And yeah, and then the interviews happened.
Were you offered
Then-
food?
Oh yeah. They offered me pizza at
I had
interview,
ice creams.
and so I was like, who gives pizza to the people who
Yeah.
come for an interview? Man? This is definitely good culture. So if I am given an offer, I'm gonna join this company.
Right.
So I made up my mind that day itself.
So, mine's slightly different. I looked up Waymo. I got a call from Waymo and then I looked it up. All I could find was Vyom Transformers for some weird reason. Right? But then I thought I'll give it a shot, right? Because I spoke to the interviewer and I really liked the style of interviewing. Right?
Uh-huh.
So I dropped down to the office at 9. We were back on the Sarjapur Road above Via Milano.
Mm-hmm.
And I spoke to a bunch of people, including Venkat, Sujay, and the founding engineers. Right? Very pleasant experience. In fact, the very fact that Venkat being in a different time zone still spoke to me, like, had me convinced on the seriousness, right? And even, I thought, let me give it a shot, and that this is it, right? And who offers food? No one.
Yeah.
Right? No one.
Yeah.
So that was it, and we've been here now,
Yeah.
for like 7+ years.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so Merv, tell me, how did your first month at Waymo look like? People can know.
So it was challenging to say the least, and I joined as a backend engineer. Okay, but over a cup of chai, I remember Sujay asking me, "Would you like to try DevOps?" And I was like, "Okay," and that was the only confirmation he needed, and that was a roller coaster ride. So it was absolutely very different, radical journey, right? So I've been in multiple orgs where they keep servers behind locked doors, no access. You have complete freedom, right? You define the entire setup, and then you decide how do you lock this stuff up, and come up with processes controls. Kind of totally different. That first month was absolutely challenging for me, but I kind of liked the ride.
Yeah. Luckily, it's just the same for me. So I also joined as a backend person, and then the first thing that I worked on was on React.js front end, building some allocation dashboard, and I had no clue. And so they asked me, "Can you do it?" And I like, "Yeah, I can try." And then when we pulled it off, it really gave us a confidence that we can do it.
Looks like anything can happen
looks
over a
like
cup of
anything
chai,
can-
no?
Exactly.
Okay, let me ask you an obvious question. What do you think about Waymo's engineering culture?
For me, and this is not specific to engineering at Waymo, but Waymo in general, the best part I like about Waymo is the openness. How everybody in Waymo is so reachable, being from the top to the bottom, and the collaborative nature, how we work together across teams and are able to bring delight to the customers. That's something that amazes me the most.
Right.
How about you? What do you think?
I think one word would do it for me, and that would be challenging.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we always push people to the boundaries, and that's when the magic happens. When
That's
people
true.
are able to realize their potentials, what they are able to, what can they do,
Yes,
which they have not even thought of.
Yes, that's absolutely true. Can you relive one moment?
I can give one example. So this was when we were working for a bank, and there is a requirement that came at the last moment that they wanted the data to be encrypted at rest, and we did the design, built stuff. I had almost finished the coding. We had to deploy it the next day, and I went for review with our chief architect, and he gave a bunch of reviews which would almost have the code to be almost rewritten. And then we sat whole night together, he along, and then We rewrote, tested it, everything, and deployed it early morning tomorrow morning. So that was like, for the first thing that amazed me is that why couldn't I think of it?
Right.
And that was like an eye-opening moment for me, that there's so much to learn. And another thing is that he stayed there along with me whole night to be able to finish everything and be able to deliver, is what shows the culture at Vimo.
True,
Yeah.
true.
Everybody is just supporting you to be able to finish the goal.
Right.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I can present one challenging instance that we had a compliance requirement before a go live, right? And we had to do it in a very quick time with minimal changes, right? So sometimes doing end-to-end changes is fun, right? And it's fairly easy, but changing certain building blocks in a way to ensure that everything is compliant and working fine involves a little more thought process, right? In fact, we had to ensure that the data remains in the Middle East, right? So there was one particular part that we started thinking through was the blob storage, right? So that was the first time I read the SDK. Ensured that we read the S3 SDK for AWS and for the OSS as well. Found out pretty much a lot of insights there, and we ensured that we could support both with minimal code change. And all this was done record time, right? We did it like within a few days, 1 or 2 days, and launched the release as well. And the next day morning I had to travel also to Bangalore. Yeah, so pulled through the release, went home, had a quick nap, off, right? So that challenging part, like, it's really fun. I think that's something what keeps me going.
Yeah. I would like to really talk about this to the audience here. Like, a lot of times what happens is that people, because I also pointed out a late night instance, and you also pointed out that we had to do late nights. Because of that, people would feel that Vimo, the culture is to work late nights. But when you are working on challenging problems and you are so deep into it, time just doesn't
Flies,
matter.
yeah, that's absolutely
and that's what gives you the kick
True,
to be
right,
able
yeah.
to just
The itch to
push your
solve, yeah.
boundaries and see that what is it that you are capable of doing.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So the fun, you realize it at the end.
So Ashish, why do you think engineers should consider joining Vimo?
For free beer on your manager's expenses. Okay. So on the serious part, it's the flexibility to be able to go beyond your boundaries, to experiment, and no red tapes which stops you from doing things.
Right.
And then working on very good hard problems which allows you to go beyond and explore your potential.
That's very nice. One very good thing that I liked about joining here is having a concept of buddies. Absolutely, they never leave you, and they make sure that you learn to swim.
Yeah,
Right.
once a buddy,
Always a buddy,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, having been at Vimo for so long, I was just wondering if you can share it with the audience. What still drives and motivates you
Right.
at Vimo?
So I think it's the absolute variety, right? You've been through multiple roles, multiple positions, like not only tech, you get to know mentorship, leadership skills that you develop. It's absolutely great, right? I've started from DevOps, I've come to platform, now I'm going to SVG, right? So multiple avenues of opportunities, and that is something that it helps you upskill and move ahead, right? So that's an absolute no-brainer for me, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
And,
what do you think would be the advice that you would hand out to engineers joining Vimo?
For me, it would be handle the problems with an open mind, and be curious and be courageous. Take the challenge and push your boundaries, and seek out help. If you feel stuck, go and ask for help without the fear of being judged, because nobody judges at Vimo. That's the best part about Vimo.
Yeah, free to do the right thing.
Yeah, do the right thing.
So Ashish, what are your views on leadership, philosophy of leadership, and how do you think that's evolved over your journey in Vimo?
For me, leadership primarily is being able to focus the energy of a set of people into a collective goal, and be able to meet that efficiently, and in that process be able to improve yourself to be a better leader and build more and more leaders. In journey at Waymo, it has definitely been phenomenal for me, the opportunities that I have got here to be able to deliver with multiple teams as an IC as well. In the beginning when I started here, the journey has been phenomenal, and it has definitely gotten me from at least maybe 100x from what I was 7 years ago before I joined Waymo.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
What about you? What do you
So
think?
if I'd like to put it in a nutshell, I would say pretty much something similar to what you say, but I would specifically point out lead by example. So that is something that I see here, right? So creating more leaders by leading by example, right? So everyone's trying to make new leaders, right? Setting the right example, and that motivates a lot more people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one, a genuine attribute which has touched me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Ashish, I think we spent quite a good amount of time, trying to understand the whole picture at Waymo. So on that note, I think we've had a really, really good conversation, which gave you a lot of insights into us working at Waymo and engineering at Waymo. Hope to see you all here.